What's up, guys? It is Merc back with another CV video, and we are doing Red Zone. That's right, we got Enterprise in 4 matches that were played back to back, and we are going to, just like before, walk through a couple different key plays, key moments, and also in this video I plan to also talk a little bit more about my strategy in the early game. So we are going to be rolling with Enterprise. It is a beautiful ship and one of the rarest CVs in the game. A lot of people want it all the time, so let's just talk about it in the Enterprise overview. Enterprise has high restoration times across the board. Large rocket squadron allows multiple strikes against DD targets and light cruisers, as well as carriers sometimes. Its main disadvantage, though, are those AP bombs. They can sometimes be wonky, and they are AP, so they do not work versus destroyers too well. Looking at the early game plan, your first play should always be to double check the CV snipe danger. What is that situation? Are there long range battleships over there? Next, you want to look at the ideal position per terrain. So you want to look where you can move safely, but also you want to think about the mid game. Where are you going to end up after that early game positioning? Next, you also want to do a scout of the enemy. About 2/3 is good because the other half, or the other portion, can figure out based off the process of elimination what they're facing. You also want to identify where your ideal targets are moving towards and perhaps take that into consideration in where you move. And you also want to be attacking those destroyers with your fighter squadron in the early flight. Find those as quickly as you can and start laying on some damage. We already found this split here thanks to his AA being on. Pleasure doing business with you, sir. We're going to do some hard work on this guy on this flank here. And as you'll see, we're going to launch this attack, and we only have 1 plane left after this full strike. So we're going to fly it out a little bit, and then we are going to drop a fighter to keep him lit for as long as we possibly can, and not waste any time. We're going to take new planes out and start working on some larger capital ships here. Enterprise is definitely one of my favorite carriers, so you always do want to be mindful of your fighters and be mindful about how you're dropping them. Sometimes you don't want to use them to protect or spot. Sometimes you want to save them for the future battles that will occur. Taking a look at this Jaeger, we did discover him. He's got no smoke, and we know where he's going. He's backing up, so we're able to start our attack run as we're turning, and we're braking there, so we are going to be able to get a strike off without flying over him there. So we do some heavy damage on these DDs in the early game. 10,000 on the bottom, 8,700 to that Jaeger there. Here we do a spot of the small end, and we are actually going to pull back. We're actually using that larger piece of rock there to block his AA. Did you notice that? Always try and find opportunities to maximize terrain to your advantage. It'll help you in the long run overall. Next, we're gonna be flying down towards the middle. We see that there's a Minnesota, and he's got a Napoli close to him, so we know we're not going to be able to get 2 planes off of this guy, so we're just going to go ahead and attack with 1 flight. We drop this fighter just to keep everything spotted in the center a little bit and to get a peek at that Napoli. We do see that he's actually moving this way, so we're actually just going to launch our torps against him because he's closer, and we're not going to make it to Minnesota anyway, so we'll just drop it here and hit that Napoli. So take what you can get at all times. And we'll go with the AP bombs next on this flight here in this match, and hopefully get some hits on that Napoli. Down here, we are going to torp this DD that is isolated for the most part. We're just going to throw it in that smoke. That's where I would be. And he is pretty isolated against 6 ships, so really bad choice by him to hang out here. He actually does die to a flood. So that's always a nice pickup there. We do strike this Nelson, and he is driving back. He is basically isolated. He does have the Baltimore's help. This game is kind of tricky because if you see in the 9-10 line, there is a mains that's coming and a sub on that side, and we're going to see some mistakes on that match right there. But yeah, there is a lemming train happening in that game, and I do not like it. I do not like it. So we are striking the small one in the top left. The fighters of this carrier are able to deal with it, and you can see we did a pretty heavy damage on him there. We are also trying to finish off this Jaeger in the top right-hand corner. We're going to go ahead and line that up and ensure that he dies. Remove those torps because those are very deadly towards our allies, and we do remove him from that match. Taking a quick look down, you see that we just did a 10k strike against Genesau, if that's how you pronounce it. Don't know, don't care. For about 10k with AP bombers. So AP bombers can work. You just gotta make sure you pick the right target and make sure you don't hit flak because those are very delicate. We do find the Kearsarge here. Kearsarge is always a fantastic target at tier 9. It's just heavy duty ship. This Nagato is AFK, so why not? We're just going to pick up a fire on him, hopefully, and get some damage on him. Small end, we're torping. We're trying to actually drive him into the battleship that we have there, just for the purpose of the battleship smashing him. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way, and he does take a lot more torps than we were hoping. So down here on Two Brothers, we are going to push up. Just taking a look at the situation, we have the DD advantage, which usually means larger ships are not going to push in. So that's my logic here on pushing that side. The Nagato's AFK. The Kearsages don't push up anyway, so it doesn't matter on that end. So it's perfectly safe too. So we torped this Musashi. You see he deployed a fighter, but if you just save your heal till they engage, and we used invincibility time there to help. We use our heal as soon as the invincibility ends, and we are able to get a second strike despite a full set of fighters shooting at our torps. So again, keep note of the carriers that you can do that with, where you can just heal through enemy fighters, because it will really help you. So on this end here, again, this 9-10 line against the mains and the sub, we do have an issue here. We couldn't park anywhere else. I guess we could have parked at the H or I line, but that's not my style, so I always like to push up. And we do have our mains here, so again, we drop the torps, invincible, healing through the fighters. And I purposely targeted that way because I wanted him to hit that rock. And if he doesn't, then we're definitely going to be able to get all our torps out against him. This is a very, very tricky situation here because our whole team is essentially stuck, and we've got 4 allies that are just died bow into the enemy on the 1-2 line. So we are trying to work on this mains as much as possible. We need him to die. And yeah, we need Nelson's help here. So this is really a tricky spot in this game. Just trying to work this guy out and keep that DD spotted as much as we can, because I do need my allies to strike him somehow. This mains player does a very good job in retrospect. He was definitely annoying as fuck and almost had me. So if not for the Nelson, I wouldn't have been able to hold on here. You can't always do it. It is a team game, so you got to keep that in mind. This game was actually really annoying here. We do see that we start getting hit by the pings, so we are going to start turning just to do something, and hopefully that can help us. And you do see that our automatic ASW starts working on him. Fortunately, that mains has a bunch of health here, so he does do a few more strikes on me. Hurt me quite a bit. So again, good job on him. Alright, here we got Yorktown in the top right here. He's been spotted by team and he pushed up to that island. That is always a crazy spot to take, especially if your team collapses on one flank. So always be cautious when you try to do that. We're actually going to take torps out and try to hit him and finish him off while he's in the smoke, since carriers can't really adjust accordingly too much unless you're called audacious. We've got the Duncan, is it? Or the Dyson up in the top left. He's getting torp and rocked by us. On this map, this is pretty much a guaranteed win at this point. At least in my mind, because once I kill this Pobeda, there's no way that they can win. I think that Hyosung was a good player, if I'm remembering this correctly. and they have just the one radar boat, or Anchorage I think may have radar. No, he doesn't. But yeah, once I get rid of this Pobeda, then I can go to ham on these battleships with near impunity. So we drop here, and you can see, look at this power of Enterprise. You're just 3 planes against a carrier, and you're able to get a full strikeout. It is strong. You see, we did a pre-drop close to him, so we could take advantage of that, again, invincibility time, to be at the edge of his AA. And that way we can have about 3 seconds of not taking damage, 2 seconds maybe, of not taking CVAA damage, which is really huge. On the bottom, what is it? The bottom right, we're trying to play some defense against that Pobeda. Here on the top right-hand side, we are actually wrapping this game up pretty quickly here. This was a smashing blowout. Make sure you know how long it takes for a match to end so you can time your drop accordingly. You see, we get that damage in right before the match ends, so we can, I think that was an extra like 8,800 damage. So in this match, we got 102k, we got top kick, so pretty solid there, and 3 kills. And yeah, you see, we got 9,800 on that Lazo at the very end. So again, make sure you know how many seconds you have after, so you can try and get your strikes out and pick up a little bit more damage. So we got 1 W here. We've got this Baltimore on this edge, and this was a decision on what to do. Do I clean out the Baltimore? Do I trust this team to kill him? I do not trust them, so I target him, and we just wasted time there. So yeah, that sucked. We weren't able to get that strike. You can see that this match can be won, and this Pobeda is on the run from our entire team. You would think that he would die quickly, but yeah, we'll just keep watching that one. We also got enemies behind us that are chasing us pretty quickly. We have to, again, be mindful of the Pobeda getting wind of how low in health we are, and we have to try and figure out how we're going to smash these enemies. So thankfully, we're leveraging terrain as much as possible to block that Brandenburg and San Diego. And again, we are going wide here because we want to protect ourselves against the Pobeda. There's no way he can strike us down the middle. It wouldn't make sense. That would be the worst kind of attack flight. So again, we just drop it there to try and protect ourselves. So we need to work on the Brandenburg, and we do fly back and go to check him. Up top here on the top left, we do have another W. And this one was 131k with 1 kill. And a couple of defensive against that small end. Pretty good hits with the Citadel bombs. We were able to drop those on the Hawk, and you see we did good amount of damage again against him. 45k is not bad at all. Total of 50k from those bombs. So that's kind of rare. You don't usually see that. That was just kind of interesting. So 2 W's there, 131 and 102, both victories, and 2 kill average. Not bad, not bad. Take a big hit here. So the enemy CV was smart, and he did drop a fighter that's keeping us lit. On this map, I'm actually not worried about dying, because at this point, again, the game is won, and I'm just trying to maximize damage. And this is where it gets a little darker in the CV play. Because it is a guaranteed victory, I'm just trying to pick up more damage and just trying to work on these guys more and more. So if I die, that's an extra 30 seconds, right? So we're down to 30 right now. We die, it's an extra minute that we have of attacking these guys. So try and weigh that, you know. You can take chances with your ship, just don't risk the game too much, especially if you're newer, if you don't know what you're doing. You definitely, once you get to a point where you're pretty comfortable in each carrier and you know how the game flows and what's going to happen, you can pretty much just do these types of I just call it the dark side of CV gaming. Just throw your ship away, and you buy extra time for your team to get their damage. You get extra time for you to get damage. So you see exactly how much work, you know, a fighter group can do against a battleship. It's pretty nice. You're sure we're not getting like huge pen or anything like that. But we're just getting strike after strike. I misaligned that one, so again, it's only 3 pens, but still, pretty strong carrier with its rockets. It's actually one of my favorite carriers at tier 8 because it does offer that unique challenge of having AP bombs versus the HE ones. So 178k, almost 179 essentially. We do get top kick there. Pretty good performance overall. No kills, but again, we influenced the match pretty well by that killing that DD early on. So always keep that in mind, try and do that. Here we're gonna farm down this Brandenburg. He is isolated. You see we have 2 DDs chasing a carrier, which is like the worst thing ever. They could have helped against these 2 battleships. They could have worked on the Bayard more. I mean, I'm just kind of disappointed. Kind of disappointed. But, you know, it is what it is. And when you trust allies, like I do sometimes, you're going to lose a lot of your health every now and then. You know, these people abandoned a certain flank, and then the other flank died too quickly. So that was just kind of double trouble there. So we weren't able to do everything that we wanted to this match. I feel like I could have done more if I had more HP. But we simply do not have the HP now to really help out and start pushing out. The San Diego is freaking rock, man. Jesus Christ, it's a light cruiser too, and it's like absolutely wrecking me. It's just like, why won't you die? Just get out, man. So yeah, I thought about the torps there, but this guy's like doing a really good job mitigating as much as possible. So I'm just trying to think of a better way to actually work on him. This Benson can't hit crap apparently, is what the team was saying. He's way farther from him than he should be if you're going to be chasing the CV. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Here we misaligned. I thought San Diego would be hugging the rock more. So we just throw away that flight there, and we're already kind of focusing on our turn. He has to turn this way if he's plans on, you know, hitting us at any point. So yeah, we do get the proper lineup, but I messed it up a little bit. Thankfully, it works out. And at this point, we do have 144k. We have 4 kills, and I am trying to circle out, so hopefully I can try and help out some way. I try to block those torps, and I actually don't notice that my planes were spotted there at the very half a second of exclamation point. That told me that there was a ship close to me, and unfortunately, that is the Bayard. He's just going to end this session promptly and swiftly. So yeah, that was rough. That was rough. I shouldn't have pushed out here. Should have checked a little bit more. I should have taken into account that the Benson isn't getting shot at by the Bayard, and that could have helped survive a little bit longer. So yeah, kind of sucks, but is what it is. Our carrier does go down, and we're just gonna rush through this real quick. That guy is really good at adjusting, and the Bayard is very good at turning, so we just speed this up to get the end here. Nothing that Benson can do at this point. We're just waiting to see if that DD is going to come out, and unfortunately he does not end up coming out of that smoke. So yeah, here we go. Drop the torps and miss detonation. There you go. So 144k and 4 kills, so not terrible. We do end up being top kick on that one too. So, you know, try and do your best. Just try and take into account, look at that early game situation that I talked about. Overall here, we do really well. We get a 75% win rate, which I'm perfectly happy with. I don't need it to be any more than that. We get 3,378 PR, according to WoW's numbers, 139k average damage, and a good number of kills here to keep everything nice and steady. So 2 kills is pretty solid. So Enterprise, definitely one of my favorite carriers at tier 8 at this point. I've just played through Kaga so many times, and Enterprise is, again, a good challenge. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. More CV videos to come, and I will catch you guys next time. GG! Oh, and here's our commander skills. So just take a quick look at that. And yeah, there's nothing really too special about it. The top one is the previous ones, that is the previous skills for that 4 matches, and the bottom there is the current build that I'll be using moving forward. Thanks again. GG!